everyone, welcome back. I am simply loving this three-part series. And hopefully this next section doesn't come as too much of a surprise because I think I'm known as the systems person. So day one of this three-part series was an offer audit. Day two was a messaging audit. And day three is your systems audit. Yay! I finally get to talk about systems. Your systems audit will not start inside of your CRM. Your systems audit is actually going to start with a blank piece of paper and an awesome marker. So, first, we are going to be focusing on your main offer in this episode. But once you have done the systems audit for your main offer, I would then encourage you to do it for all of your subsequent offers. The first thing that I want you to think about from all of your clients in 2022 is where you dropped the fucking ball. I want you to be honest. It's a little hard. I know there are a few leads that I should have followed up with. The automated process took care of part of it, but I didn't pick up the ball and cross the finish line, if you will. I can admit that. But I guarantee there are places that you dropped the ball in your systems in 2022. I want you to just take a few minutes and write all of those incidents down. Those ones that you're like, oh, damn, am I going to get a 1-star review from this? That's one example. Another example is just, oh, I really wish I'd done this and you didn't. These are the things that I want you to write down. Okay. Because these are going to be different for all of you, I can't exactly help you fix them, in a podcast episode. If you would like to DM me on Instagram and tell me what they were, I would love to give you some advice on how to make sure that they don't happen again. But for the purpose of this podcast, we are going to assume that whatever instances you found, you will have a solution for plugging them. So in other words, if you double booked yourself for a session, because that's actually happened, as someone told me on the podcast, maybe you want to look at a scheduler inside your CRM or using something like Calendly or Acuity to make sure that you are always up to date on your sessions and that you're not accidentally double booking yourself. Second kind of oops that can happen that can be solved by the same kind of tool is if your client forgot your session or heaven forbid you did. Both of those can be solved by scheduling and then automatic reminders. So those are the kinds of things that we're plugging, guys. But after we make sure that you've plugged your holes, I do want you to think about your systems holistically. So every single person can probably benefit from emailing or getting in touch with their client 2 more times during their process. I honestly cannot think of anyone in the 100 students that I've served in my course or the 50 plus people that I've done Dubsado setups for. I cannot think of a single person that contacted their clients too much. There is literally no such thing. Okay, guys? So I want you to think about 2 extra touch points that you can add into your process anywhere between when they contact you to hire you and even let's go a month or 2 after delivery, anywhere in that time span. I want you to think of 2 extra touch points that you can add to the process to make your clients feel appreciated or to clarify part of the process. Any 2 that you want. I will give you 2 examples that I can think of off the top of my head. I do this for a lot of my clients, and some of you guys are going to be like, okay, but you were already doing that. But actually, I wasn't. So for a lot of my clients that I'm doing setups for, I have started adding in an email halfway between the session date and the anticipated delivery date. So if my editing window is 2 weeks, I am encouraging all of my clients to send an email out at 1 week. It does a couple things. It reminds them that they are still, a high priority for you, that their session is still in progress. And you can either do one of 2 things. You can either remind them of how awesome the session was and that they should be thinking about their next session now, or you can be preparing them to buy additional products when the gallery is delivered. If you're using something like Simple Sales, of course, every single collection comes with a print or gift credit. This is just an email where you can be encouraging your clients to think about how they're going to spend that print product. The more touch points you have with clients on buying products, the more likely it is that you will actually sell products, guys. It's just a fact. If you never mention print products and your clients get to that gallery where they have 100, 300, even $700 in print credit, if you are not reminding them of the awesome products that they could use it for, many people will just leave that money on the table and not actually spend it. Okay. So 2 extra touch points. If you are someone who is not already asking for that elusive feedback that I mentioned in your messaging audit on day 2 of this 3-part series, this is one that you can add in. 30 days after delivery, 60 days after delivery, you can start automatically asking your clients for this feedback. Now, there's a couple tools that you can use to do this. You can simply ask them to reply to the email. I don't recommend that, but you could. Second thing that you can do is directly ask them for a Google review and provide the link to them. Guys, don't expect people to go Google your business, to find your Google My Business listing, to click on it, to give you the review. That's not their job, okay? If they're willing to give you feedback or give you a testimonial or a review, you need to make it as easy as possible. And so inserting a link directly to your Google reviews is the best practice. Now, method number 3 is what I actually recommend to all of my clients, and I hope that you will take me up on this. Inside of your CRM, or using a ClickUp form, using an Airtable form, using a Jot form, or using a Google form, I would highly recommend that you ask your clients a few of those customer research questions that I mentioned in yesterday's episode. And in addition to those questions, you provide the link at the end where they can click and basically copy and paste their answers into a Google review for you. This is doing 2 things, guys. This is making sure that you get a copy of all of the amazing things that they've said. It's also making sure that you actually get the Google review, which helps with your social media authority, helps you on Google, all of those amazing things. Okay. So we've got those 2 extra touch points that you're going to add in. The last thing that I want you to do for your systems audit is I want you to write down your entire customer journey from beginning to end. How do clients contact you? What's the process to get them booked? How are you onboarding them into your business once they pay you? And then how are you offboarding them when the service has been completed? This should just be one really long list, guys. A list of every single email, every single form, every single call that you need to schedule inside of their customer journey. Now, guys, after you do all of that, then and only then are you ready to start talking about CRMs and software. Only then are you ready to start talking about which emails can be automated, which parts will require approval, and all of those things that I talk about on a daily basis on Instagram and also inside this podcast. So guys, I hope that these 3 days have given you a starting point of where you want to go if you are ready to make big changes or even small ones inside of your business in Q1 for 2023. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.